All right. I think it's a good time to start. Any other person who is here will join us. Will meet us here about we are. So good morning, everyone, for those physically here and then for those online as well. You're welcome to the September technical series. But before we start, being a physical program, and even if we have it online as well, I know we'll typically have a safety brief. Yeah. So for those here, welcome to the boardroom on the 10th floor here at Ingentia Energies Limited. There's no planned drill for today. So for the event that you hear the continuous beep of the alarm, you go out same way just out of this boardroom, but rather than going through the door you came in, you walk straight down and turn right. There you lead you to the staircase, and then you make your way down to the ground floor where the fire warden or official would address and then lead you out safely. For convenience, when you step out of this room now to your right, straight down is for the gentlemen, and then you take another right turn for the ladies. For those online, I mean, again, I think it's just the generosity of the executives because this is strictly a physical program. It's been a while we had this at NAPYP, but it's gradually making its way back. But the idea is join us as much as you can. We'll see how we can integrate it as much as we can as well. But again, like I mentioned, the focus is really it will be for those physically present. As much as you can, follow us in whichever way that you can. We'll find a way to integrate our notes later on. All right. That being said, I'm playing a lot of roles here, but I want to welcome all of you to this technical series in September. And I especially want to thank our facilitator, Dr. Muyiwa Olawoki. I know this conversation started some 2-3 months back after the NAPI technical meeting. It's been a continuous one since then, and it's been several weeks of planning. But I can assure everyone present here that there'll be a lot to take back because really our work starts from the very foundation part of which we're going to do here today. I think on that note, maybe I'll just ask our facilitator to just take us straight into it. And then maybe just give us some warm remarks before we now get straight into the business.
You ready to go?
Yes.
Are you online?
Online, are you ready as well?
Okay. So I'm going to stand and I'm going to sit. I'm going to make this as simple as possible for all of us. But this is work in progress. So you're going to see a lot of things done by hand. That's why I said you should come with you. You can do your own. So that you can go away with whatever you do and revise it. But we'll make it as simple as possible for all of us to catch something in about 1 hour before the attention span begin to wane. Most of that lunch time begin to function. Okay, my name is Muyiwa Olawoki. Who am I now? Okay, I started my career a long way before
I was born.
Okay, I started my career in 1982 in Aji. Moved to Shell in 1989. Moved to Mobil in 1990. Worked for ExxonMobil in Houston in 2001 to 2005.
I think you should be standing.
Took early retirement in 2007. Ever since then, I've been running Geospectra Limited. Geospectra is a geoscience company. We have our footprint almost in every country in West Africa, apart from Togo. Liberia. Into almost, we have a footprint, have a technical presence, we have a work documented in these countries. We are moving to East Africa now, starting to do some work in Uganda.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit exciting. It's a little bit exciting. And I said this with all the sense of humility, not any air of arrogance, but humility. And it's what you can do. I never knew it was going to be this fun. 1980, when I started working for Apple. But it's been fun all along. It's still going to be fun. It's still some fun in the future. Okay, why are we here today? We are here today just because I got a call and for the fault seal analysis project. And we were trying to understand how the fault seal software work. At the same time, try to understand how can we improve ourselves with this. So this hands-on experience is actually an attempt to solve a problem that we solve. Everything, putting our hands on paper, will drive it to our audience and will actually help us to say a little story about what. So today, we'll be looking at fault Heave, internal architecture and possible civil potential, a hands-on approach. That's why we encourage you to come with your ruler, come with your pencil, come with your ruler, pencil. Then, more importantly, come with your eraser because we're going to do a lot of cleaning. So, this is starting. So, looking at this, let's get a little bit into. When we talk about faults, two things will come to your mind. Either personal potential.
Could you this to show?
All right. So, fault seal analysis is a very common thing that we all get involved in. We have and then you have corridors.
Yes, please.
As long we have problems, or sedimentary. Yeah. Somebody said there's a fault.
All right, just leave it. Take it, bring it back.
It's trying to show us what it takes to have a fault. Okay. So imagine you have that continuous bed, and then there's the disruption right there. That disruption will slide to something else. So any fault in this sequence that have the footwall, have the hand wall. Okay. So with this, we can quickly identify the throw used to that. This bed got down thrown into this bed. So this is the throw. For today, we are trying to image what is between this line. Okay. For the sake of those who are online, let's go. So this is a typical one from Bradley. I mean, that's Bradley. That's the fault. Okay. This bed is faulted against that impermeable bed, but that porous bed is faulted here. So you have this porous bed faulted against that porous bed, same porous bed faulted against that impermeable bed, and all that. And this bed faulted down here. That package is there. This impermeable against permeable. So it provides juxtaposition, right? It provides juxtaposition. But before you get to juxtaposition, there's a smear. There has to be a smear. Okay? So let's go back a little bit. How do we begin to think about the subsurface? You can start by creating some seismic response and that gives you a sort of a sand shell sequences. From if you are Niger Delta, if you are in the Middle East, you'll be thinking carbonate and the extractor. But each of these seismic wiggle is a representation of the stratigraphy of the subsurface. It's a representation of the layering of the subsurface. At times, you may have 2 or 3 of these representing a particular bed, whereas at times you may have each of these representing a single. So, depend on the resolution of the seismic, and we are taking the simplest case right now, where each of these wiggle traits is a wiggle. Sure, we are all used to our seismic wiggle. There is a wiggle trace. Here we are thinking it is the SCG polarity that goes, the black is the peak, the trough is the white. Okay? And then it flips to the right as the trough, white. It flips to the left as the peak, black. And generally, we take the trough to be sand. Generally, we take the peak to be shade. But at times you can actually have that. You can have this represented by the seismic response. That is 2 beds will represent that group. 2 beds will represent this. At times, depending on the resolution of the size, in this case, you can see the duplex got subsets within them. Depends on the resolution of the site. But the thinking here is that you and I can only understand the surface through such seismic expression. Yeah, I can't see it, but the seismic can image it and represent it. So in the sedimentary domain, you're thinking sanctuary soils. If you are the carbonate domain, you'll be thinking carbonate with sand, with shales, with dolomite. All of them having their different responses. But the beauty of it is that it's only through seismic that you and I can understand the subsurface.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Good morning, sir. Apologies for coming late. I just want to ask, can we ask questions as you go?
I think it's better that we don't, so that I don't lose my thought.
Okay, that's fine. I just wanted to check in.
Maybe you write down the question,
All right, sir.
and at a better time we can stop.
Okay.
Okay, this is question.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, sir. All right.
That's what we're going to do. At a particular time. But it's good for me to give you the fundamentals before we go to the practical, because you are going to do it. You have to do something on that graph paper that you will take with you. The beauty of it is that you can keep it in your room, and your friends will come and say, "What are you doing?" You say, "I'm a geologist. I'm a geoscientist." You can actually put it in your office, and your boss will say, "Well, what are you doing?" "I'm thinking about fault seal." Sure. They will put you in another category when you say that, because that is the bane of every manager. Every manager wants the fault to work, but the fault does not work all the time. Okay, so here, this is what I've been trying to cartoon right in there, right? So that you already know that we got this from our seismic, right? Our seismic image the Sanchez series. Sanchez series faulted. When it is faulted, we are used to seeing just this package faulted down that way or faulted up. Depends on the way you see. If it's a river fault, it goes up. If it's a land, it's a river fault. The hanging wall drops. Okay? But we have not taken time to say what is happening between here and here. So what we are going to be doing today is just understanding what is happening on this thin line. That's what we're trying to do today. Because that is really the seal. That's really the sealing window. That line is where the seal occurs. At times, just opposition just bring it together. But if that line is weak, everything goes off. Or if there's a slight adjustment or movement on that line, on the fault line, then everything goes off. I can juxtapose a shale against this sand. But this line is weak. This line allows hydrocarbon to move. Nothing will be in this sand, particularly if this sand is a dipping sand. I will free to leave this long. Right. So let's assume, so that's our fault. How my bed this way, sand. How to juxtapose against it, even thicker shape. Put hydrocarbon in. If there's any movement on this point, it will leak. If there's any pressure differential, the pressure at this point is different from the pressure at this point, it's different from the pressure at this point, except when you're in the hydrostatic regime. Okay? Hydrostatic regime is 8 ppg and above. But once you're around 8 pp, 10 ppg, the pressure at this point can breach that window. And once you breach this window, the hydrocarbon will leak. So this is what we are trying to image and understand how it goes. So that's the throw. That is, I throw this bed against this bed. But that's the heave. This is the separation. This is the gap between my hanging wall and the wall. Okay. That's the gap. Okay. And that is really what we want to understand and put some understanding to. It's a work in progress. So, starting point is we already understood where we are, the flow, the heave, that's the footwall setting, and that's the hanging wall setting. Now, if we go back to Bradley, we can connect the footwall, the bed in the footwall, to the bed in the hanging wall. Okay, you can see the sands fairly connected, shales fairly connected. And we're trying to, now we have separated that black line. Okay, what I did here, this line, the fault line is now into two different parts. The footwall component, the footwall part job. Any line? And we separated it to see what is happening there because that's when we want to know what the sealing efficiency is. Okay, so that's where your graph paper is important. Okay, so We all have graph papers like this. If I have graph papers like this, then we're in good shape.
Anybody without graph paper?
Yeah.
So I was struggling with either do you create your own stratigraphy or do we use this example? Sure.
We can start with this example.
We can start with this example.
Okay.
So it means we will have at least 2 graph papers,
Yes.
right? So can we see this example? Is it possible to copy it to yours? Or we do photocopy and give to everyone? It makes it easy.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
Apologies.
Yeah.
Yeah, apologies.
But since we want to start on the common template, so what you can do is you can create your own log. You can create your own log. You can see in there, you have the gamma ray log. Gamma ray log here. Show the sound here. This log is the same as that because it's the same sign that is ported. Okay? So this log, you can see the gamma ray log. It's the same sign that is ported. So the gamma ray log will show the same thing. It's not a broad fault, it's just a natural, it's just a normal fault that just imagine that. Put a pulse, touch it 1 finger, pulse it 2 fingers, 3 fingers. They are all the same.
Oh, I'm distracted.
The thing with that, we can have the concept of single bed, ported, foot wall, hanging wall, same thickness. But we are trying now to say, okay, they've been faulted. It's faulted this way. We're not saying, how does it look this way? But there's the same sign, it's going to be the same sign. And the relationship will be the same. But the way to go is one, you want to create your own log. No, but to use the same sheet of paper, you need to divide your graph into 2 components so that the component will be the hanging wall component, then the other one will be the foot wall component. Which means, just like here. Just like here. Divided the graph into 2 equal parts here. So I can have my foot wall component on this side. I have my hanging wall component on that side. And now create the heave since I have the throw. Okay. I need that space to be able to represent what is happening there. And if you're on this, that would be 12 squares. Is that 12? Do you have 12 here? I think it's 12 by. It's not will be different from mine. But I think we can have this. Yeah. No, big. Take 1.5. So it makes it. So it makes it down. So at least we can start.
Down now.
Okay. So for now, keep your own graph. For now, keep your own graph. You are going to use your own graph. Before we go, keep your own graph. Keep your own graph. Keep your own graph so that you're going to use your own graph to create your own log, which you will plot, then which you will connect, and then which you will play with. Your own graph for now. Okay, so that we can work with this one. All right. So that is the graph you have has the footwall component. So I didn't annotate it that way. But the beauty of it is the same to your left with the footwall component, the one that is a bit shallower. And you can write it on top, continue to populate it, footwall component, footwall setting, fall throw, 120 meters, heave, fall heave, 120 meters, and then the hanging wall is that. Doing that in your own handwriting. Okay. All right. A simple correction, please cancel that through on top of it and write E. It's part of the top here. Cancel that through E because the throw is the vertical. You know, we measure throw in vertical. We don't measure throw in the line horizontal. It is heave that we measure in the horizontal. Okay. And don't forget that the footwall still has a longer component that is outside the graph and a deeper component that we didn't put in there. Just like the hanging, we just want to make sure we focus our effort where we can quickly make an impact. Okay? All right. So we have this. Now, connect. I want you to connect stratigraphy in the hanging wall to the footwall with your ruler. That's the beauty of your coming with your ruler. Connect the sand bodies, the stratigraphy in the footwall to the hanging wall. Connect. That's a good idea. Just like it is there. No, the shale is right at the top there. It comes to the top of. I didn't put the shale there just because I'm not interested in the sand in the hanging wall. But on the footwall, you can see the sand shale service in there. Okay. And we are there that would be 120 by 120. 120 throw, 120 vertical. It's an ideal so that we don't have too much vertical or horizontal exaggeration. So it's a scale of 1 to 1. Okay. But if you multiply A by B, if, for example, if A is a multiple of B, then you are putting an exaggeration. So we want to keep it as simple as possible. Connect every sand and every shale. Connect every sand, every shale. How to connect every sand, every shale. Okay. Have we connected them? Connect the top shale, top sand to the top sand, base sand to the base sand, top shale to the top shale. Okay. Once we 1, 2, 3, 4. The 7th one will have been the base of this to the base of that. Okay, I have connected that. So that is the relationship between the footwall and the hanging wall. Okay, the lateral along that heave corridor. But we know that the stratigraphy can vary. We know that the stratigraphy can vary. And the stratigraphy varies horizontally, so it can vary laterally because we are moving from point A. Don't worry about this. This is just part of what we are trying to do. If that is the footwall, that's the hanging wall. Okay? Between Yeah, I can repeat my stratigraphy at every 20-meter throw. Okay? The heave is 120. The throw is 180. Each of these, from here to here, I can drop that shell to that level, and that will be 20-meter throw, right? If I drop this shell to this level, it will be 40-meter throw. Okay? If I drop, so each one drops almost at every 20 meter. No, you are not going to do that. It's just to show you how things can vary. Okay? Because it's the same stratigraphy. The same stratigraphy. Okay. But if you just look at the first page, you can see that is the sand body, that's the sand body. The pencil dark color is the shell, just to give some contrast. In this case, what do you think is happening? Here we are seeing shell smear, that is this shell smeared from here, this sand smeared from there, that shell smeared from there, and that at this point, I eventually have this shell juxtaposed against that sand, okay, to provide a lateral seal. Okay. If that holds, then this impermeable bed will keep hydrocarbon in that permeable bed, because I brought a shell against the sand. But within that, if I now come to the next sand, this shell has moved, right? This shell on top has moved by at least 20 meters to get to that point. You know, this is the fault plane. This is the fault plane, right? Anything from here to here is within the fault plane, but we have expanded the fault plane so that we can understand the geology or put geology. That's what we are trying to do. Okay. So imagine if I bring this shell against that sand, what do you think happens? I bring this shell, this shell is this shell, this sand is this sand, this shell is that shell. I have brought this shell, top seal, it is top seal on that case. What is it now on the it's a lateral seal. Okay? It's the same top seal here that got faulted down by 20 meters to bring this top to that top. Okay? And when it gets to that top, it juxtaposes against that. Before it juxtaposes through, it started smearing that sand from here. The movement of this shell across here started with smearing before you have the eventual juxtaposition. Am I making sense? Or we need to go on break. So this shell started with smearing here before it became eventually juxtaposed. Okay. So that's the shell smear. This shell will smear this, eventually became juxtaposed against that. This shell will smear that sand, eventually before it became juxtaposed there. But what's happening here? What's happening here? What do you think is happening there? Where do you start? Sand to sand juxtaposition. If the smear potential of the sand to sand is not strong enough, what do you think will happen? It will leak. It will leak. No shell has gone through it, but the sand came and weakened it. Right? Yeah. If I put a very good shell plaster, this is my sand. This is my shell. For this shell to get to this level, it will start snaring here. While in motion, it will be snaring until it got to a particular level where it will come and juxtapose. So juxtaposition, snare. If the efficiency of that sand if this sand to sand smear potential here is not high enough to resist any pressure or hydrocarbon movement, it will breach. In that case, we'll lose the seal in the top 6 meters. By my scale, that's about 6 meters. Now, let's get to this one.
Just point that way.
This sand comes in there, that shell goes in there, the sand comes in, just 2 feet. Just 2 feet will weaken that sand, and it will go. Right. So that's why we need to be a little bit careful about how these are. The level we are going to now, we've seen how we have given it equal throw and seen repeated stratigraphy, because this is the stratigraphy we know. We don't really know the stratigraphy within, but it's the one that we know that we're going to put to the unknown. Otherwise, we won't be able to do anything. Yeah? And it is the known here that actually got filtered down to the known there. Nothing different will happen apart from rearrangement. And that's beyond you and I. We can't figure it, I can't figure it out. Okay? Can't figure it out. But we can do the simplest that I'm going to put the known into different compartments between the footwall and the hanging wall, and use it to estimate and project my potential for sealing. That's where we're here today. Okay, and that's where you will do that. Okay. Okay, so we have seen how it can fail. Okay, but that is regular throw that we know. Okay. Let's now get to where we go. Okay. Here, we're going to be seeing a profile that we think runs here, a profile at 20 meters. This is 0 to 24. There's a profile at 20 meters. This, if I drop this shale by 20 meters, what will happen? We'll see that profile. But that profile, this will be more in the deep sense, because we are saying that down thrown, up thrown. It has to have a deep sense. Otherwise, you'll be riding continuously on the footwall or ride continuously on the hanging wall. If you want to see the deep sense, you come from hanging wall to the, no, you come from, yes, yeah, you can still come from the hanging wall, go up to the footwall, or you can come from the footwall and drop into the hanging wall. But if you want to see the lateral sense, you have to ride in the heave. Okay, so ride in the heave. I separate that fault, just like the same thing. So here, on that connection, that's what we have just done. We want to see now how variable stratigraphy in that corridor can give us potential sealing for our reservoir. Okay, so let's look at a profile A. The case now where we say yes, we are 20-meter throw, but now we want to see how does it vary laterally. And when it varies laterally, it is the known that we use to populate the unknown corridor. Okay. Okay. So this is fall through at 20 meters. We are now along the heave. The throw is this guy gets thrown down to that 120 meters. This is it's a hands-on experience. I didn't want to come with a crispy, well, fanciful PowerPoint and all that, because I wanted to do it. We're going to be constructing something like this. Constructing something like that. Okay. So the beauty of where we are right now is we now want to see the heave. That is the architecture that we are talking about. Okay? That's the architecture. And what do? You can bring that stratigraphy that you know, bring it into different connections between the footwall and the hanging wall. Okay? So this shell, what will happen? For this shell to move to this position, it will start with that smear, right? It has to. It has to smear itself. It will first of all shear itself. Okay? How do I explain that a little bit? The gap between my hand is the fault. Okay? If my top finger here, if this top finger will come here, it will first of all smear that gap. That's the smear. And then it will now juxtapose against that. Have I lost anyone?
No.
Have I lost you? So this shell, this 20-meter shell, for it to get dropped to have a throw of 20 meters, it has to smear itself. That would be the smear corridor, shell smear. And then it will then throw down. We're now looking at the box between this shell and that shell. That's the box. That's the box that we will fill with this stratigraphy. We fill it with that stratigraphy, with thickness, using the same thickness. Okay. So that shell smear. Then this shell will now get juxtaposed against that sand in this rectangle. This sand will smear itself to have the same movement, to have the same 20-meter throw. It will equally smear itself. Yes. Do we agree or we disagree? Or I lost you?
Lost.
Two sand bodies, there's a fault. For this component of the fault to give me a footwall, hanging wall setting, or to think about seal in the footwall, this sand must first, as it begins to move, it will smear itself before it can get juxtaposed to the lower stratigraphy.
Yeah.
Am I losing you?
No.
This is how it started. Fault came in, separated. This guy moved. This guy will smear itself, then eventually get juxtaposed to the lower stratigraphy.
Okay.
Right? So if this is sand, this stratigraphy will be juxtaposed against that sand. The same sand has smeared itself to create that triangle. Okay? So within this connection, this sand body connected to that shell body, for this shell to move into that rectangle, it has to smear itself, then it will then get juxtaposed against that sand, because we are moving that shell by 20 meters. And it can be 100 meters. In your own office example, it could be 150 against 200. It could be 1,000 against 150. In your own office example, we thought we'd be able to come here to you. We thought we'd be able to bring an example from your office that we can play with. Play with it. If you don't like it, hide it under the table in your office. If you like it, tell your guy, I have an idea about that solution. I thought about it over the weekend. This is what I do. You may not like it, but I can explain it to you. And you explain it to your guy. If it's okay, it's okay. If it's not okay, my guy, sorry, I thought I was, But the beauty of it is that we can look at it in another direction. Okay? So we smear that. So we are going to start by filling this polygon first. Okay? That is where you will start with. Okay? So this shell has to come to the top of that sand. The top of this shell has to come to the top of that sand. in that rectangle using the same thickness. Okay? Go. You're feeling that. Not what we are doing for. This shell, we want to juxtapose this shell against that side. And that is the shell. Same thing.
Yes.
That's around. This is 10. So this is 20 units. Just from the top of this, within this narrow box, fill it 20 units.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
So now, if the show smells itself and now goes to the sand body and suppose, and then the sand smells itself. Now, does the sand smell against the show or itself? That's where I'm actually lost.
No. You are in this polygon.
Okay.
This sand will smear against itself and get juxtaposed against that shell down there. Okay? You can tell me that this shell smear that sand?
Yeah, that's what I'm asking.
It's not impossible, but we are in different corridors.
Oh, okay.
Yes, we are looking at boundaries. These are actually like boundaries.
Okay.
These are actually like boundaries.
That's what I was confused at. What the sound that smell, when you are getting the
You
shell?
can take it. You can take it that it will smear the next one. But by the time we begin to see the sealing capacity, you will see the impact.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. But you can take it that it will smear, no wahala. If it doesn't smear, no wahala. We are not looking at one entity. We are looking at a composite body. We'll be looking at the composite body. Bring this in the upper polygon, in your first polygon, right? This is your first polygon.
First question. Now,
With this stratigraphic, right?
Each box is 20 meters.
So this shell smells itself there, but this shell will come into that rectangle.
This box.
Same thing. This sand is the same thickness as that sand. This sand, this shell is the same thickness as that shell. This sand is the same thickness as that sand. This sand is the same thickness as that sand. This sand is the same thickness as that sand. If you just count your squares laterally, I can tell you.
Just connecting.
Going down to this point. When I did the sound, now it's not going to smell itself down. So it's not be shaded. You understand? So, sir,
Yes.
should we shade the smearing part?
No, don't shade it. Don't just shade. Just shade the shell.
The shell one part.
Yeah.
Sure.
The shade here, these are all the shades. These are all these shades.
just trying to shake.
Leave the smearing out. You can't really do. It is when there is shade, is the smearing. You shade.
Okay.
Shade the shade. This shade,
Okay.
smearing, shade it.
Shade it. Okay.
This shade, juxtaposition, shade it.
Shade it. Okay.
This shade, smearing, shade
Shade
it.
it. Okay.
This shade, juxtaposition, shade it. This shade, smearing, shade it.
Okay.
This shade, juxtaposition, shade it.
Okay.
This shade, smearing, shade it.
Okay. So should we do? So we should leave the sand. So sir, so the sand smearing.
Huh?
The sand smearing. We only have the sand particles.
No, no, just leave this. You can leave it blank, or you can leave the sand symbol in there.
I can find out. So.
Yes, sir. Look,
So what has all of them are 20 meters?
no, it's the same.
It's not.
It's not.
It's not
20 meters, all of them. No,
It's not.
That's also shaded. We not do less. Line. It will not fit.
Just repeat it.
Don't read it.
Not the same. Just follow it that way. Follow what you have here.
Not the thickness, not the thickness
everything.
of the footwall to to populate.
Have we left this for scratch?
No, you're supposed to be. Because you want to do that with triangle plot now.
This is eight.
So you want to
Yes,
you do
this is around six. Yes, this is six.
Exactly.
This is around 10. 10.
You see what I come
Around 9. No, this is around 10.
It's not to
10. 10. 10.
It's not 20.
Yeah, it's not going to, it's not the same. Yeah. Otherwise, you will introduce thicker stratigraphy and you won't get the same replication.
Nice, you go for
The next
1.7.
be measured. Should be measured. Okay.
1.7.
Are we getting there?
I'm saying.
Do you, first of all, do you get the triangle? Do you get the smear triangle?
Second.
Get the shell, first of all, get this shell smear triangle by bringing the top of this shell to
This one.
the top of the sand. Because that will give you your 20-meter flow.
Trace that.
Yeah? The triangle actually gives you your 20-meter flow.
Yes.
From there, just continue to use the thickness of the stratigraphy to populate that corridor. We're going to repeat the same thing there.
It is so.
The sun is moving, sun comes down.
Who is trying to say that these are your stratigraphy? Then you have it down here.
Are we having fun?
Want to measure what we are doing. So everybody has not 20 meters, but you want to know, even without 20 meters, you want to know is on this end. So what you do is very straightforward. Because this one, we can measure this end. Exactly. So within this land, we will measure 2 centimeters. Do that as you move down. Just move.
But it's the part of the structure statue. Shall we say
You can put it in power one.
without light show?
No, we'll see get to that too, but this is another app that
Like this one now. I'm not here. Yeah, this one now.
That's my phone. But then what happens to the
Yes.
Yeah.
You want to bring this?
Problem.
Testing from your
Are you understand this?
measure from here to here.
It's not my day, it's not engaged.
Measure 2 centimeters.
I'm measuring. I'm asking for the thing I see me getting it like that. I think that's it. I see
Then bring.
The sun. So this is shield right here. This will be sun. Then now
It's looking like that triangle.
Okay. Just look at it.
Measure the next one. No, that's why I said they are still with you.
I'm unable to work with this. I can also follow up.
And then you measure, measure.
Please confirm you can see it now.
right, and the sun, the shape comes in. The sun.
You can hear us, please confirm you can see.
This is the shield. Then the shield is on the sun.
Thank you. All right. Let's enjoy. If you have questions, you can leave it on the chat box.
Okay. Are we okay now? Is it getting there? But Michelle, then can I explain from here?
Yes.
It's easier for them. Yeah. Okay. The first thing to do, get the smear triangle for the shape in the narrow box. Okay.
Describe it. Yes, sit down that.
Oh, okay, don't worry, that's and then that will make it.
It comes down here.
Okay, first of all, get that smear triangle. Cross the first top shape. Get the smear triangle. There's a smear triangle in that first rectangular box. You
Thickness.
can see the cursor there. Get that triangle. Shade it from 100 to 1100 to 1120. Shade that triangle.
Yeah. Just.
Shade that triangle. Shade the smear triangle between 1100 and 1120. Once you shade that triangle, right angle triangle, once you shade it, within the corridor of that shade, we are correlating that top shell. We are correlating this top shell, so there's a lag, that top shell with the shell in the hanging wall. So we are going to be walking along this rectangle, big rectangle. That correlates the top shell in the foot wall to the shell in the hanging wall. We are walking along, that's where we start. Once you shade the rectangle, smear rectangle, then come and shade the 20-meter shell in that rectangle. Measure 20 meters. Count your squares. Count the squares. Yeah? Count this.
You smell first. Now, it's not so bad. That's the shading, do not move down. That's the shading that I'm shading there.
Shade it.
The shade there.
It is shade. So you shade the rectangle. I shade it. You don't shade it to the fall.
Then I'll smell down
You
there.
don't shade it to the fall. So shade it within that rectangle. That big rectangle.
Do you understand?
So this is going to
What's the thing? I wouldn't know. I've not gotten it. He said that. You are correct.
So that.
So you brought this and that, so yeah. Just to be here. That's it. Oh, no. Looking at it financially, you are showing it now. You are showing that this has been area. If I should remember, width of this is great. So it's not with this sand.
To get the thicknesses of
You understand?
Yeah, this. All right. Okay. Are we there?
Okay, sir.
Shade that rectangle.
Okay. It's fine. Shade it.
this one now.
Sit down already.
You shaded it.
Shade it.
Yes.
Shine
The
it.
thickness of this shell, bring it there.
Yes, we done that.
20 meters.
Yes, we done it.
That's all. Shades to this side. Just walk within
That line.
that corridor.
Yes, sir.
So you shade this one.
This shade, this is shade. Shade it. Then come and shade that same thickness.
Explanation now. Shade that one. You drop this.
Shade
This. No, shade this one.
Then bring this sand thickness,
Okay.
That same line.
Yes, it's
Just
good.
corridor.
You separate.
that's the corridor.
Yeah, you got it.
Thickness have to be the same thickness here.
Done that. Done that. You are going. Done that. Yes. Okay, sir.
Into this shape.
Okay.
Same thickness.
Sir, no, it's not that, sir. No, I'm not.
The tip of the first one.
So nice. My class.
It's not only that.
This side is this side. Yes. This side is this shape. This shape. Yeah, it's shape.
It's not that it's the shape and the truth.
Yeah. This side now. So this side.
On the clinic.
This shape is this. This side is this. This shape.
The truth is
This shape.
I was able to move.
just explained.
It should be less on after you have. And in its explanation, it said that anywhere that there is shaded.
When you see this line,
But I don't know, so
continue
No, you not said no.
until you get to the end of the line.
That's what I was trying to say. This way,
That's no.
that's
Yes.
That's the form.
that's right.
Your eraser. Don't forget your eraser. You will need to use your eraser. Huh? You will need to use your eraser.
The second poly.
Huh?
The second poly.
We are going to repeat the same process.
What is the ecology for the first?
And let's finish with,
Believe it.
Let's
let's finish with the first one.
okay, are we there? Shade it first. Shade it until you get to the hanging wall.
At the hanging wall.
that's one.
Do the same.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, yes.
The second one.
That's it.
Are you here right now?
Yes.
Yes.
So there is an extra space.
Then you are not you didn't count.
Leave both sides. Shade.
We need to count. We need to be careful. I mean, it's not going to be.
I'm even that.
But the picture of the you can count right.
And that's the fun one. We missed the first.
So,
I counted 6. Here comes the tip I'm correct.
are you, okay, are we fairly okay with it?
Yes.
Huh?
Yeah, two.
Everyone knows.
Two before it happens.
Who is yet to get to first? Who is yet to get through this?
Because I don't know mathematics, I know small.
What is it?
I don't know really much, but I know small.
I use the same thicknesses here to formulate here. Should be right.
Yeah.
Same thicknesses. So it needs some little findings, otherwise it won't come. But we need to be very careful. And if you want to seal hydrocarbon, we need to be careful. Otherwise, all the hydrocarbon will go away. We'll deal with that. It's
Water compression.
Yes, it's
Is that not water?
Yes, which one?
Like, said the sound. The last thing, the sounds.
From what it's completely.
This you can like listen. So
No, we are not. It's allowed.
When you sit down for hours.
Yes.
I do
Oh, the space. Because it's same like it's going to be things, yeah? And we show you an example of how the kind of.
Let me see.
Yeah. I'm going to repeat. I'm going to repeat the same thing, repeat the same box. Once you get it, you get the response.
That's like 2 lines of sand on the chair. I mean, that's what I had.
Okay. Fantastic. Yes, we are bringing this to against.
yeah.
The Yoruba man.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
No, your fitness, I don't think your fitness is correct. Yeah. Your smear triangle, right? Smear itself. See, that's the, you're supposed to use so.
I don't know.
You actually sequence of this.
So anybody's.
Yes. And at the same.
When you adjust text up, if you are text up, it's software. Should have been.
Again, that's. Okay, I think we can move to the second. It's the surface. The sand, for it to move 20 meters through, has to smear itself. And that's the sand.
Yeah.
For this sand to have a flow of 20 meters, it will first of all smear itself and then get juxtaposed against the shell. And that is a shell.
What did you say?
This sand
Say you're not correct.
smear itself, this sand juxtaposed against that shell. But it's still the same thing. Just do the, once you get the small rectangle, continue your thickness as it is in the footwall within the rectangle.
But the next one is not going to be for the shape. I'm getting different.
So it's gonna be from here.
For the same. This thing you're doing now is not for the same. This thing you're doing now is within the edge. It's not for our second polygon.
Yes.
Diagrams. Okay, let's start with the
In
side.
the second polygon, it's the sand. It's we are using this sand. It's smearing itself, so that's the smear triangle for the sand.
You can watch it.
This sand will now juxtapose against this shell, same thing. Just
Okay.
and you repeat all this within that narrow box.
I think you have to first measure your 20 meter.
I wish I have a good pencil.
That's
It's not pencil.
a hands on.
I have a two big pencil. Oh, perfect. That's something so. So it's not fun.
So if you have there's no space.
Smears it first.
Silent now, I think we are getting it. I think we are getting it. I'm happy with the entropy level is, I think we are getting it. Yes, yes.
Virtually correct.
Yes.
Got it.
Is the sand smear
Mhm.
the same thickness as sand on the footwall?
Yes, you can't do more than that. This sand will smear itself up to the top of that shell. So it has to be the same thickness. The right is just a rectangle, while others are rectangles. The smear is a rectangle. Whereas the juxtaposition is a smaller rectangle. Okay? This guy, the same thickness, push it down. And now come and juxtapose that sand against this shell. That is Look at that.
Sure.
Right.
Why is that?
It's also bigger than that shell. So it's going to be longer than that shell.
And what shall
Yeah? This time
this part is side.
is bigger than that shell. That shell is longer than that shell.
So it's going to bring it down, okay.
Because
The sun has
Content.
no, it's not
You need to fairly carefully count the spells. You can miss it one or two. But if you are not careful about it,
Look at what for the
it needs some little attention.
because look at the size here, wasn't it? After slow.
Okay,
Just count.
Probably first box. That's the base of your triangle, square triangle. Count this. Bring it here. Count this. I found this thickness to make. Anyway, so I want to see your. No, you don't shake the sand triangle. Do not shake the sand triangle, otherwise they're going to make it a shape.
Okay.
If you leave it open, then we know it is sand. If you shake it, then we know it is call it shade.
That's that count. 3, 4.
So that's this one is when you turn that one down.
Exactly. Then you now start.
Oh man, this is not
Thickness of
I like the physics. I like this easier.
thickness of this to be. Thickness of this to be. Physics of that. I want to read through and.
You see the notes, you know, first time. This is why I like your physics.
You're looking for easy life.
I'm telling you.
Okay. You want to see?
This kind of thing was one you see to
Don't shake the sand triangle. Do not shake the sand snare triangle. Otherwise, you are turning it into a shape. Which it is now.
I have 2 extra. Yes, 2 extra.
Okay. Get this sand. Where is that sand?
This one, it's
Yeah.
this. I'm just writing S and red is sure.
Fantastic. Yes.
Yes.
That's the way it goes. That's the way it goes. That's the way it goes.
It's one of the best things for me. Don't shade and force it down. So like it gives you up the father of
Sand triangles. Yeah, I will always stop at the base of that sand. This sand gets to this shape. All right. It's a Saturday that is different. Yeah, it's going to stop, of course, because there's no stratigraphy below.
You have to start to definitely.
Look at that. Why also going to be stopped?
You're correct now. Don't be afraid now. You're correct.
You can go to the third triangle. You can go to the third shape.
this is the show now that is made.
With the experience in these two, it should be easier. And then it's getting short. What I would like us to show, yeah? Makes it easier.
Yes. Sir, it's just like an assumption of
Okay. It's not an assumption. We are transferring this stratigraphy.
yes.
We are transferring this stratigraphy into each of these boxes.
Yeah.
So it's not an assumption. We are working from no. Don't be, just a minute.
No, of course.
Excuse me. We are looking, this is a fault plane.
Yes, sir.
We are trying to open it up
Yes.
and see what is within that fault plane.
Okay.
Computer probably is able to, you and I cannot, but you and I can put what we know into that fault corridor and see if it makes sense in what we should see.
Thank God for software. Serious. Thank God for software.
I think it's the fact that
But you know,
Imagine you sleep from 8 to 5 every day.
no, that's the man. I can tell you one of the career is I had a professor that trained in Russia. We do this, we write a program for this. Yeah, we will write a computer program for this. When I was working for Shell, we wrote a program, a computer program for things like this as a geologist. I don't know if any of you probably Dr. Ejedawe, Joe Ejedawe.
Very well. We know him very well.
Have you heard his name before?
Yes, yes.
Joe Ejedawe.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Joe Ejedawe and I, he was my supervisor in Shell.
Wow.
We things like this, we will sit down and write a computer program for it. It's interesting now.
Yeah, amazing. He's coming back to Nigeria.
Oh yeah.
Yes, so.
Let's go down.
Sir, but what's wrong with that, sir? When you're undergraduate, when you're thesis, sir, all this hard
I think this.
yes. I understand.
I can tell you my physics and BSc not straight.
Yes, sir.
My physics and my physics and
Sir, please.
document something. With their representation, where we can we flatten out.
You know, I'm not sure this particular shade here. Keep going.
Really, wherever it is, they want to be stopping somewhere there.
Okay.
Yes? Is this sand, this sand?
This sound is this sound is this sound.
Yes. Then bring this here to where it stops here. It will give you a triangle there too.
Okay. Oh, wonderful.
That shell, just look at this shell is the one that is here.
Yes.
This line will join the well.
Okay.
That's the fourth thing there. And this shell will fill that triangle.
Okay.
Yeah? Yes, it will fill the triangle. Yeah, it won't be best because there's no data here. It won't be here. Yes. But if you put data, you fill it. These are things you can do when you get home in the evening after dinner. Yes, sir. But I'm going to fill that thing by too long. You can actually put stratigraphy below that. You can put 2 or 3 sanctions to it. Then you see, you play with it. It registers the idea. Okay?
What's all?
So try and fill the different boxes. Oh, you're having fun.
Yeah, go for
Having fun.
yeah, supposed to be new like food of lights.
Don't forget your smear triangle. Once you get it makes it easy to fill. Smear triangle, fill it. Makes it easy. Once you set in your smear triangle, smear triangle, sand smear triangle. Once you nail them, then it's easier for you to fill. When you get somewhere, you try this and you have counting skill. One, two, three, what are you doing?
No. It's before I
Get your contract. Get your contract. You get that contract.
the prison person.
No, the contract will just end at the base. The sun. If you lie on this, I will be the sun triangle. Then from there, count 10. And you repeat that statistical thing until you get to the bottom.
This is space.
Actually, your shoes. Yes, sir. Add more. Add more. There.
Oh. Okay, okay.
Count it. I'm not saying. In the box.
No,
you are saying
class.
that it should be.
Did you?
Yes, because he said because it should be what it should start with. So,
No,
this guy, he wants to see it get shoes.
Actually, before glasses.
That's why it's illustrating it as thickness. Because this, I think this one is 8, where this is 6. So do you understand? This 6, and this one. Okay, now. Because I guess it represents the 80%. It moves down. So that is means it moves down. This is the thickness. The thickness of this.
I'm not going to make that.
Yes, you understand. And that's so after his own, after the shade, when the shade of smell, he says, you come measure it 2 centimeters.
draw line here. So this polygon now, this rectangle is shield. So then this sand, yeah, measure is 1.5, measure 1.5. So if it's anything is a sand set, that's the try and sink. Yeah, exactly. So it works.
Didn't.
Okay. Okay.
8.
Unite.
I'm shading only the shield.
Probably like this side. Then you leave it there. Any option. Yeah,
You know this one is usually good.
that is stands out. Do the placement I should shade.
Ah,
It's kind.
sounds
Yeah, take this, take
like this one.
thickness of this.
And then this is probably your sounds. Yeah, but I guess the instruction is to leave it empty.
What is talking about?
Yeah, we don't mix it up.
How do you put this in? What was that?
That is the egg.
After this, I just teach you.
It's made. That's the issue.
That's time
So it's a issue. You understand?
Yes, this should be more. So we say perhaps.
You mentioned it, I think.
This is like, this is something.
Well, well, yeah. I see good property. Yeah.
About James. About James. Finish.
Down continuous across that center. That's not true. This is sounds like this. It's not actually that.
Are we happy with what? Yeah. You found out that this one is also.
Yeah, right.
Because we cut your for example, this one now, and this card would not. I want to delete that.
Okay, so that's what I can do and work.
It's just a good sense process. Okay, I guess we are getting there.
Yes,
I guess so. I guess we are having fun.
Get so.
Can we move to the next page? Wait, smaller.
Yes, sir.
All right. So the beauty is this, is that this was, we were actually some 30 minutes ago. Now we are settled into serious business, or we are having difficulties. If you have difficulties, let us know. We can explain. That's why we are here. That's the beauty of what we are trying to do.
Still not this week, friends.
Right?
Yeah.
So,
Any function or can I get for that? Come down.
okay, I want this share symbol. This share, no, don't share the. I want this sun symbol in here. I want this share symbol in here. This share symbol in here. Yeah. Okay, it's 1 o'clock. Let's what's the contract? Yeah.
So,
2 o'clock. We are there. We are I can show you other examples, but we are going to, I like us to work with this and take it to what we want to do. The beauty is that you can always hear us.
Sorry, sir. So I have a question.
Ah,
I have a question, sir.
yes.
I know what we are doing and what we've been discussing is largely around placement potential. Placement potential.
So placement potential and mythology just
Juxtaposition. In terms of shear guard ratio, placement potential shear guard ratio, is it the same sort of approach or is it different or?
all these are computer iteration. And I'm not going to venture to tell you computer iterations until you run the program. We'll see how they are. But I think if you have a simple concept of where it's against then our ceiling potential will be better understood.
Okay.
The beauty of it, that when you run the whole stress analysis software,
Yes.
it will help you understand your gauge ratio, your shear ratio, to help you understand your juxtaposition.
So what we are doing right now, we are looking at what is happening within the fault zone, isn't it?
We're doing the third zone.
Okay.
This is the key.
Yeah.
Don't mind this finish for that.
You can read it, okay?
Exactly.
All
Yes, it's the same idea. Yeah.
we are looking now, we are looking into what is happening within that fault line. You know? We still need juxtaposition at this end, but a lot happens without getting that current. This is really what we want. Okay, and then when you run the software and it's saying smear, ground ratio, juxtaposition, we already have a hands-on experience of, yes, I can see that smear, I can see why it worked and why it did not work.
Okay, sir. So in a scenario where we have a very thick shell, is there not a possibility? Because I see we are creating scenarios where we have sand juxtaposition. In such scenarios, is it not possible that you have that thick shell smearing even across your sand?
Yeah.
Right. That's possible too.
Oh, yeah, in the deep water.
Not give it a holistic.
In the deep water, I don't know. For those of us who have worked deep water, try to see, you see the typical log. The deep water sands are essentially sand. It's a present floor fan. Very thick shell on top of them, basement floor fan. Okay, and it's still one behind. Before this, we're going to be bringing this thick shell against this smaller knee. You're going to be bringing this much of shell against this much of sand. That's what, if we fault this, that's what we will see in the deep water. Things like apple and green and all this thing. And that's why some of these sands tend to have long, we say it's simple example. That's why some of these sands tend to have long hydrocarbon cover. But if the sands eventually come to that, you propose sand against it and you log it, it will be hydrocarbon down to it. And then you need an output appraisal well to find the oil water content.
Yeah.
And your column will be very long.
Yeah.
Because that's what you will log in the shell, in your log, in the sand. Where and it's hydrocarbon down to it. Actually, there are instances where you see water up, which you are able to get to the oil water content.
Yeah.
Water up to. So anywhere from here, from this hydrocarbon down to this water, that's where your oil water contact is.
Yeah.
And that's a long column because of the thick marine shale that you just propose against the basin floor fan. We will see a very simple example in this one that you are doing. That's why we want to make sure we do it a little bit careful.
In a scenario where you have these shales being very thick in the deep waters, and then your sand just start putting against those thick shales, would there be a need to do your shale smell to get the shale smell potential when you already have a high chance of sand shale deformation?
It's part of your risk analysis. Your seal analysis, fault seal analysis, if it is faulted, is part of your analysis. I have that picture, and there's a secondary movement. Secondary movement. There's a secondary movement, maybe even below the scale of geology, which you and I can measure. You and I can measure movement when sands move against each other. But when there's a secondary movement where there's maybe it's a little bit of actually compression and breaches the trap. So part of our risk analysis is fault seal. So management want it. It's a way of feeling comfortable with the process. Yeah, I would like to do it. So, but then when you have a secondary movement, like initial was normal compression, was normal sedimentation, there was a contraction, is that due to push up or the handling wall? I like to use this. If that secondary movement does not breach the trap, okay? Breaching the trap, so this is sand. With hydrocarbon. Number 4. There's a compression. What do you think the compression would do? The compression will bring this guy. Yes, drop. To bring this guy now to this position. It has the movement of this body to this position from this position already breached that track. So the hydrocarbon that was actually initially there can actually see a small accumulation out there. If you have a road. Don't, if this guy was that guy will go. That guy will leak. But if you have a road, well, that is the compression, it gives you that way. You can actually trap the carbon up to that. So it's good to do forcing analysis when you see that. But if it is part of the echelon truck porting system, then you have to depend on your four-way closure. That is on top of that. This will give you a four-way. Sit down. If anything beyond that, will leak.
You might have to do fault seal to know if you have potential down.
Yes, it helps, and it's cheaper. It's cheaper. If I do a fault seal for $50,000 rather than drill a $50 million dust.
50 million against 50,000.
I like to do that. But companies don't want that. I can tell you that one for free. All right, so.
Yes, sir, one last
I
one.
think most of us, yes.
One last one. Yeah. Yep. So, in cases where we have sand to sand smear, but because that's the reason I asked about clear smear potential and shear guard ratio. Because what shear guard ratio does is to account for the shear content in each stratigraphic unit. So in cases where we have sand to sand smear, but we are dealing with essentially dirty sands, right? Which could essentially not encourage migration? Because what we are saying, essentially what we are saying here is that if sand is smeared with sand, then that immediately encourages migration of hydrocarbon. But what of cases where those sands have some high or shale content within them, and that shale content plays a role in terms of migration of hydrocarbon across the fault? What of those cases where the sands, we're not dealing with clean sands?
Waste energy so that we have to. This is your log, and this is your sand, which is a dirty sand. By the time you pour this sand and you bring the equivalent somewhere here, all these shale breaks will have their little hydrocarbon and fat. By the time you run this through it, you find that it will go away. You may have residual hydrocarbon that you are seeing on your log, but it's residual. By the time you log it, your water content, and you do the what's that? The one that evaluate the water content of your sand. You find that there is high SW there. It's not prolific. Is that your question? Then if you say, if you look at sand shale pair here, it may look high, but the sands may really not be that clean. So by the time you do your petrophysical cutoff, these are the things you'll be counting, not this. By the time you do your volumetrics, and these are isolated bodies, it's a very small number. Unlike using this, which is not the reality, of the well. This is the reality of the well. When your petrophysics will do the cutoff, with just W and 5 cutoff.
Yeah.
Okay. So we need to be very careful when we get to this type of sand. And this type of sand actually have high bound water generally. Yeah. Okay. All right. I think we are there, aren't we?
Yes.
Pound part 8. Who is discouraged? You seem to be discouraged.
Yeah, correct.
They're encouraged. All right, let's get to. Okay, we can see where we have put the numbers. All right, let's look at this. Right. I don't know. Put the number. Put number your little pictures. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then once you get your square triangle 1A, just continue your 1, 2, 3 in that box. 1, 2, 3 in that box, And you see until you fill it. I'm sure that's what you have done, aren't you?
No.
Yeah, that's what you have done. That's what you have done. If you have numbered it, maybe it would have been easier for you to follow. But I only learned that one through 1 day work. So you can learn it in 1 hour. Okay? But it's the same thing like you're supposed to have. This is supposed to be all the shells with the square triangle, sands with the square triangle, with the sand triangle, sands, sand, shell, and you can see them clearly layered, layer by layer. Right? You can see the sand shell, which is like what we see here. That's the beauty of this method. What we see, what we have done here is to fault this one to a deeper position, just opposed by 20 meters. And everything seems to get faulted. With a little bit of variation, could be 2022, 2018, 22. But if you put the numbers in there, you will find out it's easy for you to get going. Okay? All right. So we're getting there. Okay, this is another profile where we have done, and then you can do this at home. We have said this is going to be 40-meter throw. The ones we have done is 20-meter throw. This is 40-meter throw. And you can see that in the first two blanks, it's nothing. Right? Because we have thrown down 40 meters. Okay? Compared to there is 40 meters. That's 1140, that's 1100. So that one down there, there's a square here, but I can't pin it down. So it's easier for me to do juxtaposition. So we did juxtaposition. Okay. So 1 juxtaposed against 3, 2 against 4, 5, 3, 6, 4, 7, what's that? You know, we just find that there are 2 units deeper. Okay? Just to respect the 40 meters, but we are still seeing the same horizontal relationship between our sand and shale. Okay? For those of us that are struggling with the deeper part, here I have put lithology of 8 and 9 below the 7 where we had before. Okay? I'm sure you are. This is the 7 with, this is where we bottomed before. Okay? I have put a sand and shale below that just to see the relationship. And you can find them fairly well laid out, parallel, as they are supposed to be here in the hanging wall and in the footwall. Okay? Okay? So this is same. You can add stratigraphy to the top, you can add stratigraphy to the base. Okay? In a simple handsome, this is a case where we added stratigraphy to what you have. That is the stratigraphy added to the base, which is this one. You know, and it's fun. It's fun. Okay. So, and that is another profile. Profile B. Okay. So this is profile A, which 20-meter through. Profile B, with 40-meter through. So we can see it in deep direction, and we can see it in the heave strike direction. You see this? This is the deep direction from footwall there. But the ones we are constructing is the heave, where we can see, have an idea of what is going on there. Is it perfect? I would say it is close to being perfect because I'm using known to populate the unknown. Okay? Okay, so we are not going to do this. Okay, now, if you run a typical force seal analysis, okay, you're going to see the juxtaposition. That is the footwall. All the blue, they relate to that stratigraphy. Okay. All the dash related to the hanging wall heave, which you have just constructed. Right? Okay, what can we see? We're getting close to, what can we see? The graph. We can see the graph. Very close.
You're not seeing it?
Yes, yes, yes.
What can we see? What can we see as a geoscientist? What can we see?
Oh, sorry?
That's the fault. Okay? That's the fault that throws this guy get between his, this is the other fault. So we are looking at the field between here and here, 120. But we know this stratigraphy, we know this stratigraphy. We have just constructed this stratigraphy and what you did. Okay? And what you did is what we expect.
Wouldn't surface
I want to drill a well. At least we would like to see a closure. This is an idea of the perfect closure. The perfect closure. So in a map view, plot it. Then in that direction. Plot it. Times some of this can actually come together. So this will be 2020, 2030. Well, to show you that this fault controls by times this can be 2020, this is 2020, this 2015. Then it gives you that this is 2015 against 20. By the time you are here, you are 2015 against 2020. Right? To show that. So what we have done initially is that we want to see how does this in the footwall. And that's it in the footwall, the blue. Okay? Is that blue? I'm not too good at color, but these are the sides. The yellow, I know yellow very well. That's are the sands. In the footwall, okay, this is the footwall, that's the hanging wall. The sands are here, that's my well. Okay? So in my map, I have that. But within this fault heave too, it should reflect what I've seen in the footwall and the hanging wall. Okay? And that's why you can see some of this thing can bend to represent that closure. Okay? So between here and this footwall, this will be my footwall map. In my hanging wall, that would be I've thrown down this guy. Okay? So I throw this down. So if this is shared in the footwall, sorry, between A and B, it is shared in the footwall. Between B and C, it is sand. Between B, yeah. Between B and C, it is between A and B. That's it. If I throw this shell against that sand in the hanging wall, it will not try, right? But if I throw this shell against that sand in the hanging wall, that is the sand, I bring the top shell against it, the shell does something like that. Take this shell, take this. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Who says it will see? Who says it will not see?
So just confirm, where is the hanging wall and the footwall?
Number one. The shell is the hanging wall. Sand is the footwall.
This one's here.
See,
So lick at the top.
your sand,
Sand.
Lick at the top.
your sand is higher than the
Sure.
shale. Don't see it, it's reservoir.
How about the scenery?
The snaring may not work, but the snaring may work. But once you play juxtaposition, chances are that this may not see. But the snaring may work. But right now, we can't evaluate the snaring until it stops. Okay? But once you do your logs and you see relationship like this, you can quickly say, chances are that it will see, and it will not see. But if I now say my sand, okay, the same thing, let's use the same symbol. Sand. Footwall. And then what? Yeah. Will it sing?
Like juxtaposition to seal up to the point where the shale stops.
Seal, but juxtaposition, chances are that maybe I'm a little bit, chances are that this sign actually goes something. That point, that will be the weak point where it's going to leak. Potentially your water content will be somewhere there. Okay, because I'm bringing my shale against sand. Juxtaposition will work. Smear will work. Because juxtaposition actually reinforces smear. That's why we can see there. This shale juxtaposition reinforces that sand smear. Top seal, lateral seal. Will it hold hydrocarbon? Top seal, marine, good marine shale. Lateral seal juxtaposed against it. Will it hold hydrocarbon?
Yes.
But this juxtaposition strengthens that smear.
The sand goes.
Huh? Okay. So it works. But this is a case, now, state B, this is a case where the shale thickness is higher than the sand thickness. Then this sand is H unit, and this is a 10. The shale is thicker than the sand. Chances are that if I juxtapose this shale against that sand, I will have hydrocarbon down to in that sand. And I will have my oil water contact or hydrocarbon contact deeper and longer than the sand thickness. Are we in the same game? Yes. So you look at your graph.
Can we say that if the shale thickness is bigger than this, is higher than the sand, and the shale juxtapose the sand, there is a ceiling.
Not juxtapose your impermeable bed. Juxtapose against
What if the shale thickness is lower than the sand thickness and there's a juxtapose, there's no ceiling?
when we get to that. We will get to that situation.
No, just also to itemize that fact.
No, I tell you, we will get there. Huh? Yeah.
So especially position explanation, I've said like there's something.
Yes, the essential is not down to that side.
Only
If you have a long.
Okay, I'm trying to say that when we have this huge size, we could potentially always have a future so I come down.
So if your shell is longer than your sand, you have the potential of having a longer column. What's your sound?
Okay. Travel, hydrocarbon gas migration. Hydrocarbon migration not have the emissions maybe at the beginning of the reservoir.
If there's no migration, I do not oil.
We have
It could be undercharged, it could be overcharged.
Yeah.
If limited hydrocarbon gets there, you probably have your contact. If quantum of hydrocarbon, which you and I cannot measure, I don't know how much volume of hydrocarbon moves at a particular point in time, we can estimate it. But my closure also has a limited volume for the spill pump. My hydrocarbon migration is continuous, after it's a continuous. Yeah.
Okay, sir, sorry, I want to ask you a question.
Yes.
So let me address your last question.
Okay.
The point is, this is just where we now have a thinner shale, just in the thicker.
Yes, okay.
Say this shale smell, that's nothing to do with agriculture. Shale the shale smell, that's nothing to do with agriculture. But say the shale juxtaposition, it's going to start to become. This is your potential hydrocarbon based on how much of it can be, it has a chance of being held because your fan is smaller.
Okay. Oh, okay, okay.
Right?
Okay.
That's a chance.
So, okay.
With more flow, that's this country came down here. It's now still within
And sand.
with more flow. That something came down almost here. So what you see is close to the bottom. So your hydrocarbon contact that you have been there with a bigger probe can give you more hydrocarbon section.
Oh, okay.
But if this one fails, this one will hold.
And the first one we hold it.
Because you are just opposing this shale against that side.
Okay.
And what it can preserve in this side will be close to the thickness of that shale.
Oh, okay. All right.
If others fail,
What else?
if others work,
Then
it's
it's
going to get more hydrocarbon as you bring this, because you have a continuous seal.
so.
All along from there to there. It's almost there. Unlike when you have an it's difficult to have.
Okay, so sir, finally, my question is that does the type of shoe does it affect the ceiling? For example, now if you mentioned about marine shoe, now what if the shell is maybe laminated or does it affect the ceiling? That's when it just opposed with the
Carbon ground, sand, very good sand, right? But your, I'm going to go away with this my sketches and show.
Programs.
Imagine your Ghana race showing something like that. What do you think from this Ghana race? This is Ghana race. What do you think?
that's a good sound.
Where is the good? Where is the good?
It's a clean sound now.
I take a pen and point to the good sand.
I don't know for a situation, but I know that it's actually a clean sound because it doesn't have much shell there.
Yes.
I think from there.
Yes.
Okay.
Fantastic. Okay. Because when you do your sand, your cutoff, Petrophysics will be a very, very conservative thing.
That's myself. We're very, very conservative.
Yeah.
He will tell you to cut off all these ones. This one, you will put a kudadara. Actually, you can say they are all sugar. But as me as a geologist, I want to put porosity here. I know there are some porosities here because it's not 100% shale. This will be my shale line. Okay. And now you suppose this against this from a shallower sand, not this sand. If this is my plot, up from plot, down from plot, definitely this sand is somewhere here. So from a shallower sand, I have this response. If I cut off, chances are that this point will leave hydrocarbon as bad as here.
Yeah.
If I push it down a little bit, there's still some porosity in that shale. It can leak that time. Yeah, it can leak it. So it depends on, and that's why you want your shale and your sand to be as thin as possible when you begin to think about prospectivity, so that it can retain the effective net thickness will be close to your gross thickness.
Okay.
What you don't want is where your gross thickness is
Higher than-
Sapetro building, and your net thickness is residential.
That'll be very bad.
You don't. The point is, you don't want your gross thickness is all that. Out of all that. All right. Until your net thickness is there. So that's the potential of it in the Sapetro building. That's what you do.
Yeah.
So here too. So here's a case now where the sand is thicker than the shale. No, the shale is thicker than the sand. This is a case where the sand is thinner than the shale is thinner. The shale is thinner than the sand. And you can see how it has helped us with hydrocarbon prediction we did before. This is the case where the sand and shale are the same. Those are the only three cases we can have. Either they are equal or smaller or thicker. You can see that at the end of the day, your shale thickness is almost equal to your sand thickness. So your hydrocarbon contact will almost be close to the base of that sand. But you will see fantastic marine seal that will complement that spare potential and keep hydrocarbon in that sand. Lateral seal, effective tops. Yeah.
So I'm going to have a building within.
No. Yeah, this is sealing. Everything about here is sealed. Hydrocarbon accumulation is in the reservoir. Remember, this is a fault plane that we just expanded. Not just a narrow fault plane. We just opened the fault plane to be able to see what's happening in there. At times we collapse all this and we say this is what is happening in the hanging wall. The hanging wall is right down here. The hanging wall is right down here. The footwall is right up here. So how can we say all this is happening within here? But the beauty of this is that it is following the stratigraphy. It is layered. It's as layered as the footwall, layered as the hanging wall. Right? Just clarification. What I will give in that example, okay? If you have footwall, okay, and you have your heave, you don't know how they are, but you can patch it in. And you now have your hanging wall with fall through. You have it as what we are seeing from here, we are seeing the same orientation in the footwall, in the fourth heave, and then in the hanging wall, the same repetition. The stratigraphy is repeating itself. 5 halted down, 3 halted down, 1 halted down, 46 halted down. Okay? 7, just 7 has the same replication. 8 has the same replication. Yes. So that is what we expect. Actually, when you map, when you do this on seismic, you'll be able to follow all those reservoirs from from top to bottom, having the same geometry. Have the same geometry. Okay. So that's the beauty of what we are seeing. We're rounding up now. I know you're a bit bored, but that is the key observation, which we have just said. You know, the top seal is very, very critical. Top seal, very, very critical. When your top seal is thicker top seal than the reservoir, extra position, cancer that you have at the carbon water deeper than this. Based on that. And that's what we can see. You will see that this one is longer in your graph. You don't need to write it down, it's in your graph. Yeah, you know, you can see that that one across that 2, if you put 2 in the next cell, you can see that that one is longer than the thickness of your sand. Okay? That means if there's hydrocarbon water contact here, if your water contact is here, what will be here? Hydrocarbon down to. Because your oil water contact is below the base of the sand. That's potential, which is close. This guy, you will find that your hydrocarbon water contact could vary from here to here to here, but it's only one that can happen because of the hydrodynamics of that system. If there's quantum that came, could be stopping here. If there's minimal that came, could be stopping here. But the chances are that thinner top seal, we find the hydrocarbon water contact within the center. The hydrocarbon contact will be within the center. Additional shales can overlap and deepen that. But first line. Now, if they are equal, your shale is equal in thickness to your objective sand. You can see them fairly equal. You can see the top of the shale is close to the top and base of the sand in here. Close. The chances are that the longer, there wouldn't be longer hydrocarbon column. This is what you have done. I'm interpreting your work for you. Yeah? This is what you have done. Okay, so this is just a bigger cartoon to help us understand. See the base of the sand. Let's see how it's not like that. It's just because this guy is thicker. Okay. This guy is thinner. See where it is. Then with more trolls, see where it is. With additional trolls, see where it is. But all this can provide a longer carbon column and the contact within the same sand. These guys, high water contact can be here. So the high water contact cannot take the ship down, but it's close to the door. Oh, sorry. Is it okay?
It's fine, sir.
Okay. Okay. This is a case where this the shell thickness 100 feet or 100 meters, 100 feet or 100 meters, they are close, and you can see how everything seems to align. And I will give more confidence in the seal potential of the lower 6 sands than the two of them. Okay. The sealing is more like just a position of the top seal against that reservoir. Yes, you wanted to ask a question. Sorry. Huh?
I want to get us up. Okay.
Okay, this is the same story. Now we have done something. You can see the two of them now. Two now is against this. Like they have much that can be there. So this fault, this sand has been ported down to there and to there. That's fault ported down, this ported down. By the same 20-meter thing. But you can vary. And you know that the thickness of these sands vary. But by the time you map them out, they tend to have the same orientation that allows you to think about sealing potential. Okay, this is a case now where we added the shallow section. This is the 1 to 7, the one in your map. That's it. And we now added the shallow section to see what happens in the top half in your work. Is an attempt to fill this box by putting more stratigraphy in the footwall. Put more stratigraphy in the footwall, you will fill this box. Put more stratigraphy in the hanging wall, you will fill the other box. It's just, yeah. But the beauty is that they're all consistent. You can see they're fairly layered up. But when we map it in the hanging wall or map it in the footwall, they have the same type of orientation. That is what is coming to us from here. Yeah. This is a little bit of trying to arrange them, number or stuff. Just to fix, ready to go. This is the conclusion. What you have done today is an attempt to understand the core Heave internal architecture and relate this to sealing potential of the footwall. I think conclusion is important to understand your stratigraphy. It helps understand your storm seal and relationship to sealing potential. So the essence of today's interaction is to feel that heave, understand what is going in that heave. I think it's something we can. Okay, thanks so much. Glad I came to this class. But please, this is work in progress. If there's anything you notice anywhere, just send me an email. We'd like to improve this. We're improving it.
Right. It's another round of applause. Just opening it up for questions. I know we've been asking several questions along the way. If anyone online wants to ask, I know it wasn't so easy for you guys to follow. But before we go, we'll just take one. We'll take 2 comments, a male and a female, about how we think the session was. Let's get feedback. Before we now go to both of them. So any volunteer, 1 male, 1 female, let's take some comments about what you think about today.
Instead of saying 1 male, why don't you say 1 football and 1?
Yes. But I don't know what the foods of the All right, so anyone, we just need 2 people to volunteer. Just volunteer yourself. Questions. Okay. I'd like to request the soft copies of the exercise for the online attendees to practice as well. All right, you
can get the blank copy to the person.
All right. So maybe what we can do is we'll scan the blank copy and then share with everyone. So there's an attendance going around. Please do well to fill your email address and your phone number and finally. For those online as well, I think Abioye will find a way to get your. Just send your details. Your email. You want to? I hope it wouldn't be a case of public information, but information in public domain. Yeah, you can contact me or contact Abioye. Just send your details. Anyway, we'll be able to see those that have joined online. some have used their emissions. But again, I mean, let's take comments. Let's take comments. I would like to know the significance of the lateral seal.
I'd like to know. I'd like to know the difference of the lateral seal. It's what keeps hydrocarbon in the reservoir.
Yeah.
The lateral seal keeps the hydrocarbon in the reservoir, but the lateral seal will have to work with the top seal. The efficiency of the top seal is actually the efficiency of the lateral seal, particularly in juxtaposition, in the case of juxtaposition.
All right, so I shall go on now. You have the response. Volunteers, okay. Let's volunteer.
All right, good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
And good afternoon, sir. My name is Prosper Ozoma. I am a geoscientist at Harvard Geosolutions Limited. I just want to say a big thank you, sir, because to give a bit of background, I specialize in fault seal analysis. So it's actually good to see most of the things we generate on software to then see how the fundamentals or what really brings those things into being or how they work essentially, especially so on our software we have especially what we did today, we call it fault triangle diagram. Then you see how your foot walls and hanging walls are juxtaposed and the shear guard ratio within each juxtaposition. So I just want to say thank you very much. This has brought a lot of understanding based on what we do on a day-to-day basis. It's brought a different sort of light. It's thrown a different sort of light into fault analysis for me. And I'm sure for everyone who has been in attendance. So I want to say thank you. I know you are a very busy man, but you made out time from your schedule to come and share this exciting knowledge with us. And we do not take it for granted. Thank you very much, sir. I'm pretty sure, and I know that going forward in further 4C projects at the office, this is something that we will be implementing definitely because this actually makes it more understandable, we could even use it for clients, right? But obviously, we try to see how we can implement this in our day-to-day work. So thank you very much, sir. We are very grateful.
Thank you, Prosper. Let's get another voice.
Yeah.
Doesn't have to be male. It doesn't have to be a female.
How many gender is being?
Yeah, sure.
Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon, sir. My name is Kenneth Cynthia, and wow, shy. I think, okay, no, I don't think. I'm an intern with Newcrest Petroleum, and quite fortunately, this is my first physical, class session with the NAPYP. A round of applause for me. I want to tell, the executive and the whole team for thank you for putting all of this together. But more than that, I think I'm very grateful. Today is, very different. I should have been at somebody's wedding dancing. Oh, look at me now. I've learned something really new. And when I hear the word juxtaposition, I know, you have to do something with rocks touching each other and leaving a smear and all that. So I would not look at it the same way that I used to. I now perceive it very differently. I'm giving us quite a task because now I have to go and study this and make sure that I understand this, and speak so much jargon at the office next week so that they know that I went somewhere. So thank you very much for taking time off your busy schedule. Thank you too to the team that organized this, because if you guys did not do this, we wouldn't have been here. It means a lot. Thank you, everybody. Thank you to my seatmate. She did a lot of explaining when I got in here. Thank you so much.
It seems like there's a question. Yeah. Or can't you? My question, can you show or represent the 3G semblance of the false flag?
That's a 2D. This is
Yeah.
2D.
Yeah.
It's a 2D domain. It's not a-
Yeah, so it's a bit of a.
But if you can marry the deep with the stripes, you can marry the orientation of the image, you can get a 3D picture.
Okay. So, okay. All right. Please, another round of applause for. Students online may not be able to see this, but I tried to dig this picture out. They will see it. And I'm not going to screen, that's why. It's really not so clear. That's our facilitator for today. This was 2018. When David Anamnese was the YPD, and it just shows to, I mean, this just proves that he's always been a supporter of the young people. The session should have held at the NAPE Secretariat somewhere in Femi Okono Housing Estate. But there's some renovation ongoing there, so that's why we had to source for another venue. But let me just use this moment to thank the management of Ingentia Energies Limited. Okay, Ajayi. The president-elect of approval to use this space. And then I think additionally, there are also a few other people that have sponsored this session. I mean, in addition to our facilitator for today, there's the Moment Bureau with Mr. Falano who works with us. Who also works with Connor. Ibrahim, who works with Matrix. Who works with Safet. They said that this is a success. And I think this more like the first physical technical program I've been posted. To sustain this with more of this type of sessions. But before we end today, let me just invite our former YP lead. To our presenter, our facilitator for today.
On behalf of Happy Wife Leadership, I want to say a very big thank you for the opportunity for us to learn from your experience, from your knowledge, of knowledge. It's been a very wonderful session. And myself, it's a great deal. I believe all of us have actually learned a lot. Manual sheets. It's been a long time I did manual. This is actually something that's great, and we say very thank you for teaching us and give us a lot of thank you. So, love it, sir.
I wish I can.
You can close it.
I wish I can.
It's right. It's what I want.
Yes,
See,
yes,
see. Okay.
Oh, okay.
So this is the quality. This is the let's see make us.
Looking like this.
No, we can move a little bit.
So this big group.
How do you group one?
Some people will sit. Should we use this side or this side?
That's more like.
The lighting is the same, but this is better.
Okay, so those that are seated should remain. Then we'll just move to this side.
Okay.
Stand there.
Yes.
Okay, let's. Before the group.
I can easily get emotional. I sincerely really appreciate this. It's encouraging to me. This is just an effort that we try to do, trying to solve a problem. I'm trying to see how we can bring in a little bit. I'm short of words, but I really want to say thank you. I tell you, my son and my daughter will be very anxious to be here. My young son would like to have it. Treasure. Thanks so much.
Yes.
So still come and sit down in the center, sir.
Yes. Before. Yeah.
What's up?
I'm stood up in
Let me put you. This line does it.
Oh, yeah.
Like I keep one thing down. I was just.
Like John.
Teacher, we just know that staff house. Can't find it.
Are you able to capture?
So now.
In front of them.
Yes, okay. I see singing.
Yes,
Okay.
it's PhD. Let's say 40. Again. Again, one more time. 40. You follow my count. 1, 2, 3. 40.
Take yourself.
That's 4 kilos, no joke.
No, I'm not sure.
Our next topic.
I think you're quoting me.
Landscape. So it's a cover everyone.
Okay. So,
Look at our line.
we will cut and paste that.
You want to smell? This is supposed on top of my hands.
And also,
Yes, please.
no.
Yes.
Why did you remember?
Good afternoon.
And that's why we wanted to take note of some things.
Maybe we can scan some.
Okay.
We're not done. We want to go to the next step. The next part is training. If you are not following us, raise your hand. If you are not following us on social media, raise your hand. Maybe Facebook,
That was last time I saw it.
Instagram,
I'm young guy.
us. Back to back. So you see these pictures online, please like the post. Okay? So and let's look out. Mapping conferences. Yeah. You understand? It's here. Yeah. Guys.
Hello, Sheung and Flora. I can see you guys. Can't hear me.
People follow us back, connected.
Okay,
What's on this next? Sorry.
are we sorted out? Can you see this? You can see this, right? I see anything.
Thank you.
So you are still online. Thank you. We are done. Thank you very much for joining us. And the recording will be available in, let me say, by Monday or Tuesday to be out. So our last technical meeting, Beyond Sex League, is online now. Okay, yeah. So and if you have not filled the attendance, please do. Please do. It's very, very important. So Beyond Sex League is online. You can watch and rewatch and rewatch. And maybe hopefully the last technical meeting. And hopefully we'll be having ABEX, since they have a software for the fourth analysis. Coming to tell us using the software. Maybe the next one.
Hello, guys. I've been greeting you now. I've been greeting you guys. You didn't hear me.
Yeah, I hear you now.
My deputy, how are you doing?
I'm okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Sheung, good afternoon.
Well, hear your voice now. I didn't even know you. Please, if you're online, we can unmute, we can see your face.
Yeah, give her now.
Press up, let me.
Yeah, Abel, can you hear me? I said Abel. Not Abel. This person here now, I've forgotten your name now. Abel, I invited you for your birthday. You refused to come. I'm in Lagos.
So guys, you can post on LinkedIn. Your hats.
It is hot rice.
You can post your hats on LinkedIn.
I'm taking your people.
Permitted.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. Thank you.
Flora, Madam Flora.
Yes, Lagos now. Go to commerce. Lagos. That girl will trying to come up here. That girl now something don't make sense. Yeah, I want it. No. I beg you. Just one. Okay, yeah, my bad now. It's not to be kind of like wow.
I know.
If you don't make it, what do you want to do?
You had a chance.
That's fair.
What was the name of that thing? It's giving me dreams. I don't even.
It's gonna be born 20, 50 years.
I will bring you. I'm on the island. I don't like that.
Who else?
Everything in your bag. Where's my? Yeah, you should love the vessels. Maybe not.
That's fine.
I'm grateful for this next time.
Abioye, where's the online food? Here's our refreshment for those of us online. Here's our refreshments.
Online food. But you know, people are already saying online. Money don't know back.
Yeah, I can hear you. Okay, bro.
Thank you,
Okay.
guys. See you next technical meeting.
All right.